Welcome to the Last Three Rows of Horror podcast. Mike here with Big Sam
and
Tiny Sam.
Tiny Sam. Big Cell, Tiny Sam. How about Medium Mike?
He can't even be little. Mike. He's got to be tiny.
It's January 2025, so Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Today we got a good one for you folks. We are recording a commentary to City of the Dead, starring Christopher Lee. But first,
he's going to show you his dick.
Wow, you got horror on your dick?
Yeah. That's Mike's dick right now. Zoom in.
Or don't. No, that's my new ink. Well, it's old ink that got worked on. It got filled in, and I think it pops, man.
It does pop. It does.
Yeah, pop it.
You know what? Actually, I seen it on Facebook, Mikey. Mm-hmm. But at the restaurant when we had breakfast, and you showed it to me, it popped a lot more. I mean, it looked so much brighter.
It's 3D.
You know, yeah,
it's coming 3D. At you. Horror's coming at you, folks. So before we begin, thank you all for listening and streaming and downloading and liking and subscribing us on YouTube, Facebook, iTunes, Spotify, Instagram. I think we got them all. And we have an email. Sam, what's the email?
LastRowsOfHorror@gmail.com.
So before we begin, I got an announcement. I went to a museum. This one, folks, you got to check out. If you live in the Chicagoland area, or if you're ever visiting the city and you like museums, more importantly, you like music history, music museums, you got to check out the PPIM. That's the Post-Punk Industrial Music Museum. It's in Bridgeport. Your host and tour guide is none other than Mr. Martin Atkins. Now, who's Martin Atkins, you might say? Well, he's a living legend. This guy has played drums and worked with, recorded, produced, and promoted. He's an entrepreneur. He's an educator. A whole list of bands, especially like some of the most well-known industrial bands you could ever think of. Ministry, 9 Inch Nails, My Life with the Thrill Kill Cult, Skinny Puppy, Public Image Limited.
You love that.
Yeah. Dude, he worked a lot with Skinny Puppy. But anyway, the museum...
Who comes up with these names, Mike?
They're from Canada. Anyway, the museum is just filled with posters and memorabilia and wardrobe. But the best part, in my experience, it's his stories. Stories of rock and roll excess and the industrial scene of the 90s, especially here in Chicago. It was big here in the 90s.
It's telling the stories like from Wayne's World too.
Yeah,
what's his name,
pretty much, because he is from England, so he has an accent.
Ozzy decided he had a sweet tooth,
his
so
accent.
we had to break into the candy store and beat the owner to death.
Yeah.
Now, Mike.
His accent isn't that thick.
I couldn't go to something like that only because I'm not.
Yes, you could.
I'm not as
it doesn't
in tune
matter.
with bands.
It doesn't fucking
in
matter.
That era like you. But I will say, Sammy's mom and dad took us to took my wife and I to Rolling Stones one. Mm-hmm. And I can't. Was it at the?
Was that Navy Pier?
Was that the pier?
That exhibit.
And let me tell you something, man. I was so impressed. Mm-hmm. I was. I mean, I love the Stones. Exhibit. I love the Stones, but I don't really listen to too many of the songs, and as much as I should. But they had some great shit. Shit there, dude.
Debatable. Yeah. I liked some of their covers that they do.
Yeah.
I feel like the best Rolling Stones songs are better than the Beatles, but they have a lot of shitty songs. The Rolling Stones.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Yeah.
This is no exhibit. This is a permanent museum. It used to be an office for a record label. The guy's been involved in Wax Tracks back in the day, Invisible Records. Do a Google search for him. That's Martin Atkins, or go on Wikipedia and just look at the list of bands that this guy's worked with. Very impressive.
Yeah.
So if you want to look at some of his old work, the song Head Like a Hole by 9 Inch Nails, he played drums on it. He's in the video, and his kit that he destroys in the video is there on display, and you can sit on it, take pictures. He played for us a 1985 demo tape of 9 Inch Nails, and it sounded amazing. He played it through the equipment that was once owned by Steve Albini.
Cool.
And even like I said, even if you don't like industrial music, if you just like music or rock music in general, go to this museum. It's BYOB. I think in some instances you can crash there if you wanted to. The guy's very humble, very soft-spoken, just a nice dude. He'll take pictures with you. Martin Atkins, Post-Punk and Industrial Music Museum. Go there.
You know, Mike, that's a good point you brought up. I remember watching. It was a little before the Midnight Special. It was a little before.
He's played on American Bandstand, the Old Gray Whistle Test.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, you know, that's the point I was getting to, because like late '60s, early '70s, as a you know, younger person, I remember, I think it was the Who, and they fucked up their drum set.
Oh, Keith Moon blew it up.
Keith Moon. Because and it was a rarity that you seen the drummer fuck his shit up. It was always a guitar. Always.
Well, Pete Townsend destroyed a lot of guitars.
Yeah, Pete Townsend, Paul Stanley, just from Kiss, just demolishes just about every show a guitar. And why is it so cool that we see that?
I don't think it is.
I think it is. I think it's so cool when
it's a waste of an instrument, man.
But they don't care. They got hundreds of guitars.
Yeah,
but you very rarely see a drum get fucked up. Not me personally, that I've seen.
Well, the one story I heard was when Keith Moon blew it up on TV. I don't know if he had like C4 or whatever, but the shrapnel I think it hit either Daltrey or Townsend and fucked up their hearing for like permanent.
Well, Townsend's got the bad hearing, but in the interviews I've seen of Pete Townsend, it was because he played so loud.
Didn't Townsend get in some trouble many years ago for being a pedo?
No, I didn't hear about that.
I think he was doing research on it or something like that. He was trying to write an article, he claimed, and he was looking at something like that. I don't know.
Okay, why would you? I'm not going to go there. Anyway, you know, like I said, Mike, I don't know. Why don't you don't think that's cool?
Blowing shit or destroying your instruments? No.
We got to talk about it.
No, I do not.
Yeah, I do. You know what? It's like Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons said, they're more show than they are musicians. You know, because Paul Stanley said when he was younger, I used to hear the music play, but now I want to see it.
I understand.
And
like,
that made so much sense.
They're rich, they can afford one, but like imagine so many people who can't afford instruments and all the work that that goes into it to create. Build an instrument.
Oh, I understand that. But
I do audio, but sometimes at concerts I'm working with the backline equipment. If someone dropped something or broke something, like, yeah, dude, that's bad.
Yeah.
So assholes breaking it on stage.
Well,
fuck you.
Well, look at Jimmy. Look at Jimmy. Look at Jimmy. Jimi Hendrix used to put his guitars on fire.
Burned it.
A lot of the 60s, 70s bands smashed their amps, you know, and the crowd would go nuts. I'm one of those guys. I love seeing that. That is part of the show.
I guess so.
It's not even an image thing. It's part of the show, because they're showing off. They're taking it to way past. Look at the Plasmatics. Fucking Wendy. Dude, she got the chainsaw and chainsawed all the fucking instruments. And
she would destroy cars on stage.
Oh, dude, you know?
She'd blow cars up.
You know what, Mike?
She was the Gallagher of punk rock.
Yeah. Yeah. Would you have wanted to see her, Mike?
Wendy O. Williams?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I work with the guy who did her show.
The Plasmatics?
Probably 30 plus years ago, and he said it was a memorable one.
Would you see me?
Yeah, of course. Why not?
You know, after seeing her, that's why I liked it was like, I think 81 where Missing Persons came in, and the lead vocalist from there, she's smoking out. She reminds me of her and her band, because her husband was the drummer, I believe, or the guitarist. Like, I can't remember which one. Missing Persons was ahead of their time.
Can I tell you about a recent concert that I seen?
Yeah. What's up?
Okay. So, again, if you're in the Chicagoland area or you're visiting, in my opinion, the best place to see a show in the city, Reggie's. They got 2 stages, one in the restaurant and then the Rock Club. I seen a band that I've probably seen 20 times. They do their annual Holiday of Horror show there. I'm talking about Macabre, murder metal, okay? So, this was probably the worst performance that Macabre's ever done, because I think the singer was drunk and his vocals sounded like shit. His guitar playing sounded like shit. Every song just sounded off. And
sometimes that's still an entertaining show, though. When it's such a shit show, you're like, wow.
Yeah, but I mean, I paid my hard-earned money to go see them, and they just did not deliver. I was very disappointed. But out of all the times I've seen them, they've never played my favorite song, which is White Hen Decapitator. They haven't played it, like I said, about 20 times I've seen them. They've never played it. this show, they played it finally, and I'm content. I don't have to see them ever again, in my opinion, nor would I want to, because I thought they really fucking sucked. Anyway, the opening band was great from Kenosha, Wisconsin. Jungle Rot. Excellent old school death metal. And then after Macabre in the restaurant, it was a Hellhammer and Celtic Frost tribute band, Hellfrost. They blew Macabre off the stage. They were fantastic. They sounded like the real thing. So, yeah, still love going to small club shows. Excellent. So, should we get into this?
Let's get into it.
Absolutely.
We're about to watch an old black and white film from 1960, I think.
Yeah, 1960, yeah. City of the Dead, also known as Horror Hotel.
Yeah, it's an old black and white one starring Christopher Lee. I've never seen this. Sal's never seen this.
Never seen it.
You've seen it once?
I've seen it a bunch of times. Yeah,
Okay.
I saw this maybe like 7 or 8 years ago as part of my like horror Halloween horror watching, and it was like I've just put it on every once in a while. I love it.
So it's an old black
Great atmosphere.
Yeah,
it's an old black and white one. It's a public domain film. That's why we're gonna cover it. But I first noticed this one because I'm a huge King Diamond fan, and in his video for Sleepless Nights, they show scenes from Horror Hotel. And
Sleepless
nights. Hey, dudes.
Gotta love the high falsetto.
Hey, dudes.
Yes.
Don't do that.
No, come on, it's
you
the
gotta
king.
do that.
You know what? You know what?
king.
This is the
I'll show you
first
this
Christopher.
one.
This is the first. This is the first and only Christopher Lee that I never seen.
Oh, okay.
Only movie. And
Really?
and I, you know what? I was watching.
What a voice.
I was watching an interview on him, and this was lately. Damn it, my stupid memory. There was a movie he made, and they didn't pay him. They forgot to fucking pay him.
Wow.
Dude, he lost, and it was a Hammer film.
Mm.
And I can't remember which Hammer film it was, Sammy. He was hot, man.
Probably slit their throats.
So when the production company, when Hammer's production company came up to him for another role, he's like, "Fuck you. I want some buku dineros. You guys never pay." And I can't remember which movie
Pay me
it
my
was.
money.
Yeah. It was definitely one of the vampire movies because he done so many with the Hammer, and they fucking forgot to pay. How do you forget to pay a guy?
I think people forget, how old school this guy goes back.
Yeah.
He worked during World War II.
Yeah.
He worked for the British government. He was a
Yeah.
Nazi hunter.
Yeah.
Was he really?
He was a
Yeah.
badass.
I didn't know that.
Yep. So if you remember Lord Saruman, or Count Dooku,
Lord of the Rings.
Christopher Lee, man. So
Nice.
we're gonna get into this. This
He goes back.
the Horror Hotel, City of the Dead.
That's right. So a little bit about the film before we start here. 1960 was a landmark year for the horror genre, with releases such as Georges Franju's Eyes Without a Face, Mario Bava's Black Sunday, William Castle's 13 Ghosts, Terrence Fisher's Brides of Dracula, Roger Corman's House of Usher, and The Little Shop of Horrors, Michael Powell's Peeping Tom, which was like the precursor to the whole slasher genre.
Yep.
And also Nobu Nagawa's and Jigoku, which is pretty good. I just watched that for Halloween this year. Oh. And of course, Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, to name a few. So that was a very good year for horror. Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen just about all of them.
Mm-hmm.
All of these are amazing movies. I recommend them.
Yeah.
Maybe not as much Little Shop of Horrors. We talked about that before, but
sorry,
most
dudes,
of these
I
are on the
can't.
Criterion Collection.
I can't. But when Sammy, remember the one podcast we did, and Sammy showed me the original. Maybe I don't know. If I get time, I'll watch it. But
It's a lot cheesier, the original. Yeah, Roger Corman
But
one.
see, I love cheesy films. But Peeping Tom and
Cheese. Go ahead.
What were you gonna say?
Mike, don't do that. What is it?
Jigoku.
Never heard of it.
That's a really good one. Yeah, we'll get into that. We might get into that like a later episode.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a crazy one.
Is that one of those old Japanese ghost films?
Yes, I think that's
Those
actually
are cool.
this is the one where they go to hell. Actually, it's a pretty cool. It's a really good film. Yeah.
But I remember that Eyes Without a Face.
I'm pretty sure
Mikey.
that's what that means is hell. Yeah, Jigoku. Yeah.
Is that what it means?
I think so.
That Eyes Without a Face posters, Mikey.
Mm-hmm.
Holy fuck, that freaked me out when I first seen
That's a
it.
freaky movie too. Eyes Without a Face.
I actually seen it on in one of my monster magazines, and I remember seeing it. I'm like, ooh, that's not right.
Did you used to collect famous monsters?
Yes. I was a big in
Those are so cool. I wish I could find some old
fourth
ones.
and fifth grade.
I wish I knew you back then.
Oh, dude.
I had a giant collection that was gifted to me.
That's cool.
Oh, really?
Sold them all.
You know how much was
what
be
happens
worth right
sometimes.
now?
They were worth a nice chunk of change.
Yeah.
I made a nice chunk of change off of them.
I got
I sold them all to Horribles.
Oh, you sold them to John? I actually there was a drugstore called Rexall, and they used to sell them there, and I'd go every week and get the newest episode of them. And what a great magazine. I wish somehow somebody had a stack of them, because I would throw them a good price for them.
I subscribe to Fangoria. I love reading those nowadays.
Now Fangoria,
they're still great.
They're right up there with Monster, I think. Fangoria, because when I used to go to John's shop, and he'd have actually more Fangoria than anything.
I used to be a big collector of Fango. Rue Morgue magazine, Horror Hound magazine was really fun.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're still in print.
You know what? It's just like back in the day, though, I'm sure, is I feel like ashamed, like taking a Fangoria to work and reading them. It's like a bunch of gore and fucking shit. I'm like, no, it's cool. I'm into horror.
Yeah.
Like,
what are you reading? Oh my
like,
God.
this fucking
That's
psycho.
so inappropriate.
I'm like, no, look at the good special effects. Like, they ripped this woman's face off. I'm like, no, it's Evil Dead. There's like the pictures of the kids that are dead just on the page. Why are you reading pictures of children dead? All right, so released in the United Kingdom on September 9th, 1960, The City of the Dead, a British supernatural witch film, turned a small profit but was mostly a box office disappointment and not released in the United States until 2 years later, September 12th, 1962, under the title Horror Hotel. So The City of the Dead appears to be somewhat forgotten at time, occupying a dark corner of hearts of horror aficionados, but general audiences will in all likelihood be unfamiliar with it. And that's a shame, because this ought to be in the same company as the celebrated horror classics, like we just mentioned. So after all, it does bear comparison with its better-known contemporaries, like Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, Bava's Black Sunday.
Mario Bava.
Yeah, and also looking forward to Christopher Lee's later classic, The Wicker Man.
Love
it's
it.
kind of a folk horror tale.
Very much.
So like the latter, this movie feels scarily plausible as a modern-day story of people who still believe in ancient supernatural forces. Albeit real in the City of the Dead.
Sorry to interrupt you. Wicker Man, it's not for everybody. It's an acquired taste. It's a real slow burn. The best part is the ending. And not because it's just the end of the film. It's like, whoa, what an ending. But yeah, there's a lot of, it's kind of hippie. It's very psychedelic. There's a lot of singing.
The lead in the film, I don't know his name the actor's name off the top of my head, but he reminds me of Phil Collins for some reason. I always think it's Phil Collins going into this.
he's like a Scottish commandant, not a commandant. What do you call that? It's like, okay, so they're on an island, and
he's basically like a detective.
Yeah, he's a police officer, but there's like another name for it. Begins with the letter C. It's escaping me right now. But he goes there to detect and do an investigation, and the ending is, I mean, just his reaction when he sees the Wicker Man is,
no,
oh my God, and he's getting fucking burned alive, spoiler, and he's just, he starts reciting psalms.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird. It's a weird
There's a
film.
lot of weird music in the film.
Don't watch the Nicolas Cage remake. Don't suffer through that.
It's good for if you haven't seen it, you got to watch it once just for you bitches. You bitches.
Really bad. Really bad. Really bad. Okay.
I like that. Yeah, the end. You just skip to the ending of it. It's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Ellen Bernstein's in that, I think.
Yeah. Lily Sobieski.
I like Ellen Bernstein.
Yeah, she's great.
Great actress.
Yes.
Great actress.
So the plot of City of the Dead follows a curious university student named Nan who travels to Whitewood, Massachusetts at the behest of her professor to conduct research on the village ominous ties to witchcraft.
How about that 1960 bustier?
Ooh, that's
Lovely.
nice. This is like kind of still, I think, maybe pre-code where they can show stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, this is also about the witch who made a pact with Lucifer for eternal life in exchange for 2 annual virgin sacrifices to be made on 2 specific days every year, one of those being the night Nan arrives on town. Now, the script was originally written by George Baxt as a pilot for a television series starring Boris Karloff. Screenwriter Baxt became known as a successful author of gay murder mysteries, creating a gay black detective named Pharaoh Love. This is hilarious for that time period.
What the fuck?
So among these works was a series of more than a dozen tales set in Hollywood during the Golden Age, featuring stars such as Greta Garbo, Tallulah Bankhead, Marlene Dietrich, Bette Davis, and others helping to solve unsolved murder cases.
Wow.
This was too weird when I ran across it, not to put it in here.
What the
So 4 of his novels were finalists for the Lambda Literary Award for Gay Mystery. Who's Next? Mae West Murder Case, Queer Kind of Love, and Queer Kind of Umbrella.
That's amazing that this guy was doing writing stuff back then.
Yeah, exactly. So, he also, Baxt's most notable screenplays also include The City of the Dead and 3 collaborations with director Sidney Hayers, known for their suspense and black humor, Circus of Horrors in 1960, the thriller Payroll in 61, and Night of the Eagle in 62, which he rewrote following a draft by Charles Beaumont and Richard Matheson. This credit was omitted from the U.S. version, which was released as Burn, Witch, Burn.
Like Richard
Good movie.
Matheson.
Yeah.
Richard Matheson. What's the one? I Am Legend.
Yeah. You know, when Sammy read the one script of the witch that want to be immortal and had to sacrifice a couple of virgins, that's in a lot of horror films.
Yeah.
That's in a lot, even a lot of the B movies. Yeah, we got to find a virgin and kill her.
I want to say that was made popular with like the Hammer films.
Yeah. Now
I want to say if you want to do a double feature like City of the Dead and Burn, Witch, Burn, or Night of the Eagle.
Yeah.
Whichever, find it as,
Now,
watch that.
Mikey, I gotta say, I'm impressed. I'm always impressed with Sammy, but him digging up the about what this guy was writing before. I mean, you got to think of it. Whether you're interested or not.
Hey, we go
this
deep.
This is way back.
We do our research.
This is so you know what the movie's about.
Dude, I mean,
understand it.
Because I'm a big. You guys, both of you know that I am a huge black and white fan of TV, of film, and
who is this gentleman again?
George Baxt.
And as you remember, Mike, at breakfast, I was telling you that mainly I try to watch more black and white films. Especially the horror stuff and stuff like that. And when I'm on Facebook, when I told you that I'm always on it, they constantly have 10 Hollywood women stars that you didn't know were gay, and they were mainly around the 40s and 50s where you didn't hear of that.
Yeah.
And it's always like, you'll be shocked who's this and this, but this guy, he's kind of ahead of his time. Writing this stuff, I mean, man, that was taboo back then.
Oh, of course.
And not
a Pharaoh love murder mystery.
Now that Sammy found it now, dude, this kid can dig, man.
Interesting stuff.
I go digging.
Yeah.
So when executive producer Milton Subotsky and his partner Max Rosenberg found the script, Milton rewrote it to be longer, including a romantic subplot about a boyfriend and a brother that go looking for Nan after she goes missing. Milton and Max were New Yorkers, and during World War II, Milton here served in the Signal Corps, where he wrote and edited technical training films. We've heard that before, right? Mm-hmm. So they both had seen success in America, making it unclear why they moved across the ocean, yet they found success in migrating, that they stayed and found a whole entire company, Amicus Productions,
yes,
which during its 15-year lifespan became one of the most recognizable names in the British genre cinema territory.
Yeah. That
had since become the exclusive domain of Hammer Films. Mm-hmm. It's basically two giants in Britain during that time.
You know what? The Amicus, I want to say, if I remember correctly, I thought I read an article a long time ago in one of the monster magazines that they actually combined their production companies at one point with the Hammer.
Sure, but I definitely recognize the name.
Yeah.
They pumped out some classics.
Well, if they did,
if they did, because again, I was really young when I was keeping up with these magazines, and I remember seeing that because my father told me this. A lot of times, big companies and corporations will use another name so they can make more money. You know what I mean? They put out the same thing as person A and person B, and they use the same gear, but they'll put a different brand on it because people want something new.
Subsidiary.
Yeah, and I think Amicus, I'm almost positive they actually invested with Hammer Films.
That's almost like I know they shot like what is it, 1932's Dracula? Mm-hmm. It was a 30 or 31. Well, either way,
31.
But they shot a Spanish version at the same time, like at night,
same set.
The same set. And
we talked about that.
A lot of people say that the Spanish version is better because they would like watch the dailies of.
Didn't you watch it, Sammy?
Bela Lugosi's Dracula. I think I do. Yeah.
I think at the podcast. I think at one podcast we did, Mikey.
I've seen the Spanish version.
I know for a fact Sammy said he's seen it, and I want to say he thought it was. I don't want to say better, but it was more graphic.
Speaking of Dracula, that new Nosferatu boy,
Very good. Yeah.
awesome, awesome.
Yeah.
We'll save that for later.
Yeah, definitely. We'll do a whole catching up episode where we talk about it in detail. Yeah. But back to Amicus, based at Shepperton Studios, Milton and Max, they produce such films as Dr. Terror's House of Horrors, The Psychopath, Torture Garden, Scream and Scream Again, The House That Drank Blood, Tales from the Crypt, Asylum, and From Beyond the Grave. Also, Madhouse is in there.
Madhouse
is a good one, yeah.
Scream and Scream Again. I must have watched that on Svengoolie 100 times.
Madhouse, I think, is the movie where they keep showing Vincent Price, where, like, he goes to, like, he has two different wives in the movie, but he touches like one of their shoulders. He's like, "Hello, love," and her head falls off, and he's like, they zoom in on his face, and he just goes, "Ah!" Twice. It's great. All right, so Amicus was de-established in 1975, but Subotsky continued producing. He also co-produced several adaptations of Stephen King novels, including The Cat's Eye, Maximum Overdrive, Sometimes They Come Back, and The Lawnmower Man.
Yeah. Cat's Eye. Okay. That part of the film, it's like an anthology.
Drew Barrymore, right?
Drew Barrymore, she's the little girl, and the fucking troll in the wall scared the shit out of me when I was a
It got
kid.
you too?
I mean, I was little. I was little.
I wasn't little. I was a teenager, and that fucking freaked me out, man.
Really?
Especially when they found a little knife.
Yes.
When they found that little knife.
when the cat
little knife.
the cat is battling the troll, and the record player's playing Every Breath You Take by the Police.
And it shoots him across.
And she's cheering for the cat. She's like, "Get him, get him, get him." Fucking love it, man.
Sammy, the way that little guy got killed.
It's been so long since I've seen it. I barely remember it.
They chase him, and he actually runs into the fan, and all it shows is little strips of his clothes.
He finds the little dagger. He's like, "Ooh."
I gotta give that one a rewatch.
But Sammy, when they found that little knife, I don't know what it is about me with like when little kids get run over and I have to see a gym shoe or a toy rolling. When I see that little knife, I think that's when it started with me with little kids.
Who's the troll?
Sal loves seeing little kids die.
I can't like a Terrifier tree when that bomb went off.
Man,
I would have done anything to see, even a little suspender button.
Oh God!
If I would have seen that
suspender button. It would have just been great though if they showed where he was and just his shoes with like burnt mark around it, like he got blown the fuck out of his shoes.
Okay, Sammy and Mikey, I gotta ask you, what did you think of The Lawnmower Man? I thought it was fantastic.
I like it. It's a decent movie.
I'm a big Jeff Fahey fan.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of his.
Good soundtrack from what I remember.
Yes.
Sometimes they come back. I think I've seen it once. There's many sequels. I didn't really care for it.
Yeah, I seen the original. Sometimes they come back.
It's all right.
Love
it was okay.
Maximum Overdrive.
No,
I don't know. I'm not big on Maximum Overdrive.
You know what? You know what, Mike?
ACDC.
There was so many people in my family. Like my brother, my sister, none of them were in the horror. Well, my sister was kind of in horror because we used to watch Barnabas Collins together. But even my brother, Dark Shadows. But my brother was a non sci-fi fan or horror fan, but he loved Maximum Overdrive. I don't know what it is about that.
Only
movie.
film that Stephen King has ever directed.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Based on his short story Trucks.
Yes. But you know what though? You know when Maximum Overdrive came out. Fantastic. That's what I mean. Great idea. These
are all King, or I don't know about Cat's Eye.
Yeah, all of them, yeah. They're all Stephen
King
adaptations, yeah.
Even Cat's Eye?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Maximum Overdrive was the only movie that I didn't feel copied, like The Car with James Brolin. And, because that was one of the originals. That was one of the original haunted vehicle. Then Maximum Overdrive came in.
Not Carrie. Christine.
Well, what's called was before Christine.
Yeah.
The Car, because The Car was 1977.
Was that King though?
No. So when The Car came out and then Maximum Overdrive came out, you know what really sold Maximum Overdrive? The soundtrack.
Who made who?
Soundtrack. Who made who? And the soundtrack. The people remembered Who Made Who. And the Green Goblin on the truck. Two fantastic just iconic scenes.
But Emilio!
Oh, Emilio. Curtis!
Oh, God. Lisa Simpson. Yardley Smith.
Yeah, Yardley Smith. Curtis! Get on it.
Don't go down there, Curtis!
You know who I love, too? I love the guy that owned all the ammo. He goes, now listen here, Bubba.
Hey, Bubba.
Come here, Bubba.
He's got the fucking rocket launcher. He's like, yeah, Bubba. Boom. Shut up, Bubba.
Okay, let's move on, Sammy.
All right. So, for the record, City of the Dead is not made by Amicus Productions, but by Vulcan Films, the only film in that company's history. Although, because it was made by Subotsky and their producing partner Max Rosenberg, it has been considered as the first of their Amicus productions when production began on October 12th, 1959 at Shepperton Studios, located in Shepperton, Surrey, England, which has a rich history of cinema dating back to 1931. Yeah, if you want to go deep into it, look at Shepperton Studios. This is a pretty cool place.
I bet a lot of magic was filmed there.
Oh, yeah,
a lot of good movies.
For sure.
Magic.
Now, The City of the Dead was directed by first-time director Llewellyn Moxey, an Argentinian-born British film and television director who eventually became known for directing episodes such as The Saint, The Avengers, Hawaii Five-0, Mannix, Kung Fu, Miami Vice, Mission Impossible, Magnum P.I., Murder, She Wrote, and the pilot of Charlie's Angels. So, yeah, he's got a rich history in television, at least.
Mm-hmm. I mean, every show that my nephew has up there was iconic. I couldn't stand Magnum P.I. though.
Really?
I hate Tom Selleck. But the rest of them, now you know who that is in Murder, She Wrote, right?
Angela Lansbury.
Yep, she played in Samson.
Oh.
Yeah, Samson and Delilah, yeah.
Bitch, you know what I want.
I want to talk to Samson.
Yep. And you know what? The Saint, Roger Moore, that made him big. They say that's part of the reason why he got the part as 007.
Oh, probably.
You know. And the Avengers. Did you ever see the Avengers? The Avengers are so cool.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
It was Miss Peel. I always thought she was
the Avengers movie
hot.
they made was pretty good too.
Yeah.
It was kind of like the original Kingsman.
Now, the woman that played Miss Peel, she was fantastic. She was a martial artist. She knew how to handle herself with a gun. Just iconic series. This guy, you know, look at this Mission Impossible. How could you not like Mission Impossible?
I like some Kung Fu episodes. I remember in the 90s
I love all of
watching
David Carradine.
Return of Kung Fu or whatever it was called.
Yeah.
When Carradine made a comeback.
Yeah.
Amazing though. So, by the way, before entering the film history, he served in the Second World War in the British Army's 53rd Division Reconnaissance Corps, and like Milton, began his career as an editor. A lot of these guys, like we said, you know, who was it? George Romero started off like that. Even we touched on that the last Herc Henry started off like that. Basically, every director started off making training films or
industrial films.
Yeah, industrial training films. Yeah. All right, so we're going to be watching the original British version of the film, and since the dialogue was removed from the opening sequence of the American version of the film, which basically clarifies the whole plot, pious U.S. censors took issue with the Elizabeth Selwyn lines, making her pact with the devil and making her wish for Whitewood to be cursed for all eternity, two very important details that are key to comprehending the plot. So that's why you don't want to watch this as Horror Hotel. Watch it as City of the Dead. Yeah. Hear me, Satan.
you know what? The chain thing. I told you, dudes. The chains. There's something about chains that's so much more disturbing than rope or vines or whatever else. But man, when you chain a motherfucker,
Stronger than steel.
Sammy, when you chain a motherfucker, dude.
When you chain a motherfucker,
that's like belittling
Sell
somebody.
notes from experience,
dude. Like if you duct tape me, or if you tied me with a rope, or with a piece of clothing, that's one thing. But when you chain a motherfucker, that's belittling. Damn.
It's belittling when you chain a motherfucker.
That's belittling, dude. Look at this poor one.
All right, well, let's get into the movie here.
Here we go.
Let's hit it.
And 3, 2, 1.
I like Sammy's got on the old black and white TV.
Cool
thing.
credits, though, yeah.
Now, did you do that, Sammy, or is this the movie? The TV?
What?
The TV, the making of the TV.
No, we do that on every commentary episode.
Oh,
yeah.
that's right. What am I thinking? I'm a
It's
dumbass.
an old Zenith that you hit on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I love that Sammy puts our logo in the corner.
We're watching it like we would have watched it on a 60s
Nice.
TV right now, yeah.
Love it.
City of the Dead. Cool titles, by the way, in this.
Yeah, but a hooded guy
I've heard this music
is
before.
so disturbing. It's more. I think a hood is more disturbing than a mask.
The Hood.
What do you think, Mikey?
Her name is spelled wrong, by the way.
Cloaks.
Stevenson. It's actually with a V.
Milt Subotsky. I've definitely heard of his stuff.
Oh, yeah. I'm a big fan of your shit, dude. Special effects by Chris
Richardson. That music is so disturbing.
Well, it's not Gregorian chant. It's Druid music.
So the opening here takes place on March 3rd, 1692, a Monday. Got a case of the Mondays here. They burn a witch. Though the fictional town of Whitewood is fictional, Salem witch trials began that same year in Massachusetts.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Salem witch trials.
I shit you not.
Also the Spanish Inquisition.
This movie has just such great atmosphere.
Hey, those are pilgrims.
Yeah. God-fearing fucking morons. Goody this, goody that. Bring out the witch. No wonder King Diamond uses this. I mean, a lot of his songs are about witches.
Her name is Patricia Jessel in real life, by the way.
Witch. Spit a hawker in her face. Burn the witch.
Burn the witch.
He's like, I didn't know that bitch.
Jethro Keen, hast thou consorted with the witch Elizabeth Selwyn?
Not me.
No. Burn the witch.
I do like, though, how she never is like, no, I'm not a witch. I'm not a witch. She just, like, almost immediately once she gets up there, jumps to cursing the town. Fuck you.
Well, there ain't no chance they're letting her go.
In a weird way, she's kind of hot.
And by the way, like we covered on our Witchcraft episode, most witches weren't burned. They were, mostly
Tortured.
Tortured.
Yeah,
or,
didn't they throw rocks at them and all that?
Yeah, crushed them.
Stoned.
Yeah, stoned, yeah.
That was more like a European punishment for like heresy.
Yeah.
It was burning you at the stake.
Help, Augustus. Help. Elizabeth Selwyn, on this 3rd day of March, in the year of our Lord 1692, we, the people of Whitewood, Massachusetts, condemn thee as a witch. May the flames cleanse thy soul of its evil, of its lust for blood, but may they bring about the death of Abigail Adams.
So yeah, he mentions Abigail Adams, which is the person Elizabeth is accused of killing, which is also the name of the first lady and wife of President John Adams, but she wouldn't be born for another 52 years. Instead, he may be referencing Abigail Williams, who was an 11 or 12-year-old girl who, along with 9-year-old Betty Paris, was among the first of the children to falsely accuse their neighbors of witchcraft in 1692.
Yeah.
Abigail Williams was living with a relative, Betty Paris's father, the village pastor Samuel Paris, along with his 2 slaves, John Indian and Tituba.
Tituba. She was from Barbados.
Why have you hexed my cotton field?
The Crucible. I remember reading that.
Yeah.
I saw the play at the Steppenwolf Theater many years ago, and it was
Good one.
fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
And nobody heard in this audience that guy say, help her, Lucifer, help her.
Nope.
You want to see some
This
good
guy.
acting. So if you really want to see some good acting, Daniel Day-Lewis in The Crucible with Winona Ryder. Fucking awesome, man.
You might do with our souls what you will.
Make this city an example of thy vengeance.
Curse it! Curse it for all eternity!
So this is some of the stuff that was cut out of the U.S. version of the film.
Yeah, because they thought it was too strong of language back then, Mikey. It was a religious thing. They thought it was against,
any affront to God,
Mm-hmm.
Burn witch! Burn witch!
Sammy, that's why they took that line out on the mainstream of Frankenstein when Dr. Frankenstein goes, "Now I know what it feels like to be God," and they edited that out on the theater, for blasphemy. Look at him. Even younger, he looks old.
I want one of those masks.
See the mask in the back? Yeah.
Little is known today of the actual practice of witchcraft in 17th century New England. Superstition, fear, and jealousy.
There you go. Dracula! Yeah, so that line spoken right there, part of Rob Zombie's most famous song, Dracula.
Superstition, fear.
Yeah. Scenes from this movie were also used in the music video for Iron Maiden's Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter in 1990.
Is that right?
Yeah. Like we said, King Diamond's Sleepless Nights music video, as did a punk band UFX in the video to the song Bitch.
Hey, Mike, that top middle mask, is that Pazuzu?
No, no. That was, think about it, dude. Exorcist wasn't written until, the movie didn't come out until 72. But, I don't know, if you go into demonology, I think there really is a demon called Pazuzu.
Yeah, so by the way, sections of the witch burning scene at the beginning of the movie were also used in the mockumentary The Curse of the Blair Witch in 99. On top of the Misfits writing a gnarly song about the film, Horror Hotel, which we covered in our Misfits series, was also featured in the unreleased Misfits Chiller Theater Fiend Club show from 96, a show hosted by Jerry Only and Doyle Wolfgang von Frankenstein of the Misfits, where they discussed the films shown and interview guests.
I've always heard great things about that convention, Chiller Theater. But I don't know if it's still around. I'm sure there's a big Jersey convention every year, but Chiller Theater, there's some epic stories about that convention.
Also in 2017, the heavy metal band In This Moment used the opening lines by Christopher Lee in their song Witching Hour from the album Ritual.
Good band, great lead singer.
Christopher Lee, look at him. He's such a disturbing looking dude. I don't know if that's what made him cooler.
He sang on an Italian heavy metal band called
Christopher
Rhapsody.
Lee?
They're called Rhapsody, and he did the narration. He even released his own heavy metal album where he's narrating.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's on. You can get that on like Spotify or Apple Music. Check that out.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point in his career, he had basically already established himself as a force, having already played the mummy in The Mummy, the creature in The Curse of Frankenstein, and having redefined Dracula in The House of Dracula. The Horror of Dracula. Yet at this point, Hammer was still using Lee as a character actor, relegating him to supporting roles alongside like Peter Cushing or Boris Karloff.
Yeah.
Was he in the Satanic Rites of Dracula?
Yes.
That one
I thought he was a great mummy.
Yeah,
he was a great
He was
mummy.
basically the 60s Dracula.
Yeah.
Like every one of them.
Because Lon Chaney and him, when they did the mummies, they needed taller guys.
I just watched another movie where he's like exactly what I just described for Halloween this year. It's called Corridors of Blood. It's on the Criterion Collection, but it's like Boris Karloff is the main guy there, and he's like he's trying to find a cure or he's trying to develop anesthesia because he's a surgeon.
Wow.
And he's trying to like operate on people without them having pain, but he like keeps operating on himself. He becomes addicted to opium.
Good job.
Yeah, but Christopher Lee plays a guy like a goon in that movie. Yeah,
he loves that word.
His name is Resurrection Joe, where he just keeps killing people. It's great.
Going to a place called Whitewood for a week or so to do some research.
Who are you? What about Cousin Sue? Well, she's expecting.
Yeah, that woman right there is played by Venetia Stevenson, who plays Nan Barlow.
This is important.
Venetia.
My term paper's got to be good.
Yeah, she was born in London but grew up in America. She's the daughter of film director Robert Stevenson and actress Anna Lee.
My mind's made up.
I've heard of Robert Stevenson.
Yeah.
Mikey, why is it back in the day that college students looked way older than they do now?
I guess it makes them look more mature and educated. I don't know.
Because back then they were a lot better dressed all the time. People were a lot better dressed back then than they are now.
In films. Well, yes. I mean, shit. You go to like Target or any store and people are in their goddamn pajamas.
Yeah, they had bums, like hobos and freaks back in those days, like dirty people.
Oh, don't get me started on dirty people.
You look at people like in films and pictures when they used to ride trains or planes, they'd be in a suit.
Yeah.
Or a nice dress.
Dick, you're just being difficult.
So, Venetia Stevenson, she was eventually placed under contract by RKO Pictures alongside Jane Mansfield. Fun thing here, she appeared in Back to the Future 2 as the cover girl on the Ooh La La magazine.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
The same photo of Stevenson has since appeared on cans and bottles of Sweetheart Stout beer since 1958. In 1962, she married Don Everly and retired from acting and modeling.
Wow.
The couple had 2 daughters, Stacy and Erin Everly, both model actresses, and a son, Eden, a musician. Erin was the ex-wife of rocker Axl Rose.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yes. He wrote songs about her.
Yeah, she was the inspiration for Sweet Child of Mine and also appeared in the video.
Yeah. I love the Everly Brothers, man. Great musicians.
So we were talking earlier about people being gay and kind of hiding it back then. It's weird because Venetia Stevenson was also great friends with Anthony Perkins.
Oh yeah.
And it said that she was kind of acting as his what they call a beard, like she was his like fake girlfriend when they would go out in public.
Yeah. That's what happened with what's his name? What's the good-looking kid's name? The singer, Ricky Martin. They had him with a woman, because they wanted to protect his image, and things change.
You didn't fool me, Ricky. I knew the whole time. Fucking Menudo, come on.
So the guy in this scene who plays her brother, Nan Barlow's brother, this is Richard Big Dick Barlow is what they call him in the movie.
What up, Big Dick?
It's Dick.
What's up, Big Dick?
So yeah, he plays like her skeptical brother, but he was in real life, he was a South African-born singer and major recording star in the UK during the 50s and early 60s. I was researching him, and I found a video on YouTube where they were like, this is Dennis in his house where he has a collection of over 200 custom pipes. And he's like, they show him packing shit. He's like, got all these different crazy pipes and shit.
What is she drinking?
I don't know, but it looked like water only. Did you see him get it from
probably seltzer? Maybe, well, what do you call those? Brooklyn egg cream, maybe?
No.
Boston egg cream? New York?
Because the egg creams were all white and then it had like that foam on the top. That's probably like Dr. Pepper or something.
In a Brooklyn egg cream, there is no egg or cream.
Is that right?
It's seltzer water and chocolate syrup.
You better shut the front door.
Whipped cream. Dude, those are so good. Have you ever had a Brooklyn egg cream?
No.
It's like a milkshake, but it's seltzer water.
Look, it's no use, Bill. We've both tried our hardest to talk her out of going.
Do you really think she will find anything worthwhile?
Well, I think we have to respect her desire to find something new, even if we don't agree with the subject.
Agree with it? I've never heard so much nonsense as that guy Driscoll talks in all my life.
Well, here I am, all packed.
Oh.
So they're all very skeptical of witchcraft.
Yeah, well, I'll put this in the car.
Where are you taking my woman?
Don't worry, darling. I'll be back as quick as I can.
So they're college students?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're college students. This woman is writing her thesis on witchcraft, like her final term paper, and her professor is Christopher Lee.
Okay.
So he kind of tells her to go to this fictional town of Whitewood, where the witch was burned originally, because they have a rich history of witchcraft. She's going to research her term paper there.
Yep.
And all these sexist pigs are trying to tell her not to.
But stay home.
But see,
Mike, babies.
Movies like this open a door, for films to get more deeper. Because if you noticed, the African shield in Christopher Lee's office, that relates to voodoo. Because a lot of horror films I see it has the same shield, and then they explain what's with this. This came from this Zulu guy, blah 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 blah, and he believed in voodoo and all that. And it started opening a lot of doors.
Not many God-fearing folks visit Whitewood nowadays.
So this may seem like it's a copycat of Psycho, but this was actually in production prior to Psycho. I know they're both actually based on a book. I forget the name of the book.
Thank you very much.
We have that.
Don't go down that road. Well, as we all know...
but look at all the fog. And
the fog on the roof and everything. I just love seeing that stuff.
The character of Norman Bates from Psycho is based on the real-life serial killer Ed Gein.
Yeah.
And there is a show on Netflix called Monsters, and the upcoming season will be all about Ed Gein, starring Charlie Hunnam. He'll be Ed Gein.
Saw some of that.
Look at that, Sammy. Awesome,
right?
Okay, that wouldn't freak you out, Mike? Some guy just standing there?
So much great imagery in this movie.
Look at that, like The Exorcist?
Yeah.
Does that sign say Wamport Road?
Go back.
Wamport Road, yes.
Oh, good. I was afraid I missed it.
Is it Whitewood you seek?
Yes.
I too. Would I be imposing if...
No, of course not. Get in.
And you would notice that guy is he's Jethro Keen from the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
But see, Mike, see what's just happening right now?
Maybe reincarnated or a ghost.
Do you see what happened right now, Mike? What? Back then, you didn't have to worry about hitchhikers murdering you and blah, 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 blah. No, seriously. They didn't talk about that shit back then, dude.
But it happened.
It happens,
What
but...
is your mission in Whitewood?
I kind of like his cryptic line here about...
Well, I'm going there to do some research on witchcraft. Professor Driscoll gave us some very interesting lectures on the subject, and I'm going there to get some original source material.
That's a creepy-looking dude.
I've known it for many years.
Do you go there often?
He looks fake.
Oh, then you must know the Raven's Inn.
I shall be resting there.
Oh, so shall I. Oh, my name's Nan Barlow.
My name's Jethro Keen.
Pleased to meet you.
Pleased to meet you.
Okay, the cars don't bounce that high.
So that
They probably had like grips and stagehands shaking the car.
Grips.
Yeah.
Just like a picture out of a history book. I feel as though I were in the 17th century. Why hasn't Whitewood been written about?
It's off the beaten path. Few tourists come here. For Whitewood, time stands still.
Look at that church.
How cool is that, Sammy?
It's been beautiful.
That's got to be a set.
Awesome
What a
sets,
shame
yeah.
that it gets so run down. Straight on?
So his name is actually Valentine Dial, who plays him. He had a small but memorable role 3 years later in The Haunting from 1963, an adaptation of Shirley Jackson's novel The Haunting of Hill House. In that role, he also leans into a car window and imitates a young woman with a blonde hair and a tweed overcoat. He was also the Black Guardian on Doctor Who.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
How picturesque can you get? Right by the graveyard.
Must be original Doctor
It has
Who.
not been used for more than 200 years.
Any witches buried there?
There are indeed. All in a section of unconsecrated ground.
Spooky, isn't it?
Yes, the reason for witches to be buried on unconsecrated ground is that those found guilty and executed witchcraft were denied burial on consecrated ground, which is like blessed holy land, you know?
Okay, how cool was that, Sammy?
Yeah, he disappears.
I'd get the fuck out of there.
Phantom Hitchhiker.
Okay, she's not freaking out or anything.
And this is so cool, too, when you know that it was all shot inside of a studio. This isn't like a town or nothing like that.
The way the set looks, brilliant lighting.
Yeah.
Looks great on camera.
Yeah. So again, it's almost like a play when you were like...
You know what, Mike? That's what black and white does. It hides so much stuff that no one else would notice or see.
Yep.
But this movie does great how it like plays with the shadows and...
Look at the fire pit, how it's reflecting on all the stairs and everything. Gives you that creepy, eerie effect. And the grandfather clock, always.
Yeah, great sound design, too.
Yes.
Like, you could hear the fire burning.
Yes.
I didn't hear you come in. Are you Mrs. Mills?
I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying a word. Not a word.
I'll do it. I'll be the asshole.
I was recommended by a friend of mine, Professor Driscoll. Perhaps you know him.
That will be all, Lottie.
Oh, Lottie.
I'm sorry to keep you waiting. Unfortunately, Lottie...
It's like all the lyrics remind me of the King Diamond album, The Eye.
The
Eye of the Witch.
May I help you? Yes, I'd like
All
to
the
have a room
lyrics.
here for 2 weeks.
The hotel is quite full. Oh, the guests are never about at this time of the day.
Well, I'm a student.
So yeah, the Raven's Inn proprietor, Mrs. Newless, who turns out, in fact, to be none other than the witch Elizabeth Selwyn, reincarnate, has a phonetically reversible surname that points to her true character. So this is a trick frequently used in vampire novel and literature.
Oh.
Is it true that Elizabeth Selwyn was really burnt here for being a witch?
Did you see the pen, Mike?
Yes.
You have to dip it in the ink with those pens.
Old
Do
school.
you believe she was a witch?
Come along. I'll show you to your room.
So it seems to me the curse was that like the whole town never dies.
Yeah.
And they go on and on, maybe under different names, but
more zombie-like.
Yeah, they're kind of taken over by the witch's coven, and then the coven gets revenge on those who burned her back in the day.
Yeah.
If there's anything you should need, just ring the bell.
So yeah, Patricia Jessel, appeared primarily on stage. She won a Broadway's 1955 Tony Award for Best Featured or Supporting Actress for Witness for the Prosecution. She died unexpectedly of a heart attack in 1968 at the age of just 47. So in this film, I know maybe she looks a little bit older, but she's about 39 here. Very beautiful, but kind of a Bonnie Aarons type of look to her.
Yeah.
Striking features.
I'm telling you what, man. If Bonnie Aarons ever appears at a convention by us, I have to meet her.
Oh yeah,
she
looks
just
awesome.
seems so cool.
Yeah. Down to earth.
Speaking of witches, for those of you who have seen Wicked, I unfortunately had to. The actress that plays the bad witch, I guess she's it's very possible she's going to get an EGOT, EGOT. That's Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony. She's well known on stage, so singer and musicals, this and that. But she probably could end up winning an Oscar for her role in Wicked.
Good for her.
Good for
Always the skeptic. I know that those awards are bought, not won.
Damn.
Fuck Hollywood.
Yeah. Ditto. I second that.
Oh, Mrs. Newless. I thought I'd have a short look around town. I won't be gone long.
I think you'll find the church interesting. Unfortunately, it no longer has a congregation.
She got the pistolas behind her.
Yeah.
He will be pleased.
You will be pleased.
Great. He's like the Ralph Ineson of the 50s and 60s, this dude.
Just saw him in Nosferatu.
Yeah, great.
Awesome.
I didn't think he was going to be in it, and then when he popped up, I'm like, yes, dude.
Well, I mean, Robert Eggers
Plays a doctor.
who did The Witch. He was the father in The Witch.
Yeah.
What a voice on that guy.
Damn, you can't see shit.
Smoke machines, fog machines.
I should have edited just like Snoop Dogg rolling out of the background, like stumbling out of a...
That was him. That's what he's on the
I'm
phone.
like, now it all makes sense.
D-O-double-G, motherfucker.
He's like, what's crack-a-lackin' damn Barlow? You want to hit that?
Throw shizzle on this. Do not enter.
I'm told this was once a house of worship.
It is still a house of worship. I am the reverend of this church. As long as the breath of life is within me, this house...
That actor's name is Norman McCowan. This would be his final film before he passed away a year later.
It is still beautiful.
Is he blind?
Yes.
What a shame the people have let it fall into such a state.
Strangers rarely come to Whitewood. Who are you?
I'm Nan Barlow. I'm staying at the Raven's Inn.
Why have you come to Whitewood?
Well, because I'm interested in witchcraft.
Young woman, leave Whitewood. Leave Whitewood tonight. For 300 years, the devil has hovered over this city, made it his own. The people in it are his.
He's kind of like one of the last people in this town that is like the holdout of good,
Look at my church. I have no parish. No one worships here. His is the power.
What power?
Leave Whitewood. Leave Whitewood tonight. I beg of you.
What power?
Leave before it is.
That's like I love how his face disappears in the background like that.
That is cool.
It's almost like how Michael Myers appears in Halloween.
The shape.
So this is our director, John Blizzard, who put together some pretty gnarly sets to set that atmosphere really sink all the way into your bones. Everything about Whitewood tells you all you need to know about the town, right down to the ever-present fog. Cinematographer Desmond Dickinson's lush black and white expressive lighting and high contrast also reemploys the eye-catching design he achieved on Laurence Olivier's cinematic adaptation of Hamlet 12 years earlier. Won a bunch of awards for that.
Yeah, brilliant set design.
I want to visit some of these old, like, New England towns. I think that'd be awesome. Massachusetts. And
Good evening. Please excuse the mess we
all over the East
Salem.
Coast. Yeah.
You have some very interesting things here.
I did go Salem once when I was a kid. We went to the museum, the Witch Museum.
Yeah.
I remember it fondly, man.
That'd be cool.
It was really,
No,
it was really something to see.
for generations, but I've just been back a few weeks. Would you like to have a look around?
I mean, now all that's like celebrated and
I didn't mean to frighten you when I came in.
Yeah, but in these times,
Rewarded.
Mike, in these times, I remember my mother telling me, in these times, a lot of women, a lot more women were interested in witchcraft than men.
Unusual
Yeah,
experience
definitely.
with the Reverend. He barred my way from the church. And he talked to me
oh,
about
Wiccan is
he warned me to leave.
another, welcomed and acceptable religion these days. It has been for years.
And Sammy, I got to say this to you. I was very shocked that Elizabeth Montgomery, when she played Bewitched, and there was an episode of they explained why and what happened back in Salem, why they were burning witches, and actually she announced and said, if we were witches, you think we'd be able to just stay here and get burnt to the death? You people burnt a lot of innocent people.
Yeah.
I'm a real witch, and the next thing you know, she conjured up wind and storm and everything. I thought that was that was a deep episode, man.
Yeah,
that was a very deep episode.
No, that's all right.
Yeah, for that
I'm
time.
studying it in college, and I've come here to write my term paper. But just wait.
So this woman on the left, the actress's name is Beta St. John, who plays Patricia Russell. She's an antiques dealer and granddaughter of Whitewood's pastor. She made her film debut at the age of 10 in an uncredited part in Destiny Rides Again, starring James Stewart and Marlene Dietrich. She then played an orphan in Jan Erie, starring Orson Welles and Joan Fontaine. As an adult actress, her first starring role was in MGM's film Dream Wife opposite Cary Grant. In 1954, she starred with Victor Mature in Dangerous Mission. Later residing in England, she appeared in starring roles in British films such as High Tide at Noon, 2 Tarzan films, Tarzan and the Lost Safari, which was the first Tarzan film to be filmed in color. She then returned to the franchise with Tarzan the Magnificent. And of course, like I said, Corridors of Blood with Boris Karloff.
Nice.
Yeah.
The name of this little motel here reminds me of the haunted house I went to years ago, Raven's Grin Inn.
Raven's Grin.
That's the one that I was at for like 4 hours. I thought I was going to get kidnapped. I've told that story before on an older episode, and the place is still there. It's in Mount Carroll, Illinois.
Who would kidnap some big motherfucker?
Dude, I seriously thought, like...
Where would you fit if they kidnapped you?
You never know. For some guys, it's the thrill of the hunt.
I didn't think I was going to go home,
Could
man.
you imagine they put a hood over Mike's head? Hey, it won't fit. Then they try to put handcuffs on him. Hey, his arms are too big.
I know I've told you about this before, but...
The guy covers Mike's eyes and goes, hey, you ever sucked dick before?
They tried to put Mike in a trunk. Dude, he won't fit.
Was that the one where you went down the slide?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, no, it wasn't a slide. Wasn't it a bathtub thing that dropped?
Yes. It turns into a slide. I'm in a bathtub
Mike, you're so
in
stupid.
a fucking like brown potato sack. The guy hits a switch or lever. The goddamn thing goes completely vertical and down I go into a slide. And then I end up in the fucking wine cellar. Now that's a haunted house.
Dude,
I mean, it was awesome.
Haunted house, nothing. That was the funniest shit I ever heard.
You got to see it to believe it, man. Raven's Grin Inn. I think they're still in operation. Mount Carroll, Illinois. It's the best haunted house in
Mike,
the world.
why would you allow anybody to put you in a potato sack?
I put myself in the sack. I did it to myself.
Just a few minutes ago.
I've been there twice, and the second time I was like, just take me to the slide.
There is no ring in the trapdoor because there is no reason.
What was meant to be a half-hour tour turned into 4 hours. Got my money's worth. And it was just me on a Tuesday night.
Yeah, that's what you said.
On a Tuesday night.
And you were the only one in there.
Out in the middle of fucking nowhere,
and
Illinois.
you were the only one in there.
Yeah. With the owner.
That's disturbing, Mike.
The owner lives there and operates the haunted house. And to get from room to room, he goes in between the walls to do the tour.
I bet he's got some of those paintings with the eyes like cut out where they're
exactly.
So the book they were just talking about, a treatise on devil worship in New England. Many such treatises were actually published, such as the 15th century Malleus Maleficarum, or the Hammer of Witches, and the 17th century Compendium Maleficarum, both of whom mention mocking church rituals with their sabbats or black masses.
I don't need any more towels.
I got to read one of those.
They're quite clean.
If anybody has a copy of the Codex Gigas out there, send me one.
In What We Do in the Shadows, one of the vampires is like, I read the entire original version of the Odyssey in Greek. He's like, complete waste of time. I didn't know what any of those symbols meant.
But did you guys ever notice? Did you dudes ever notice that bad people, whether they be witches or Dr. Frankenstein's or whatever, they have like underprivileged people working for them. Like this girl here, she's back in the day they'd call them mutes or just call them deaf and dumb, and they belittled them people, dude.
In the year 1692, a coven of witches, a coven that
They need sensitivity training.
Yeah.
whose power came from the devil, gathered beneath.
Well, it's always been about they go after the weak. That was supposed to be the backstory on that.
Later to be burnt at the stake. Marked a young
What do you call familiars? They needed a familiar.
obtaining an object of value belonging to
Like Redfield.
which to call her, and leaving in its place
The master will return with his promise to make me immortal.
Small lives. So in New England, it was thought that those involved in witchcraft were in league with the devil, but not so much that they met in covens of 13. The idea that witches meeting in covens of 13 was introduced by Margaret Murray in her book, The Witch Cult of Western Europe, wherein she writes that the people accused of witchcraft during the height of the witch hysteria between the 14th and 17th century were indeed witches, part of a pagan fertility cult, and that their covens had 12 members and a leader, making 13. So one of their celebrations is in fact Candlemas. In the film, Candlemas Eve takes place on February 1st, which also happens to be a pagan holiday called Imbolc, a Gaelic festival that symbolizes the start of a new life in spring. In the film, the night is also for the cult to mock the rituals of the church.
Sounds very much something from Wicker Man.
Fuck yeah. That's why the whole thing behind this is all folklore, kind of.
Well, the origin of Druids came out of Ireland and England. I mean, you look at Stonehenge, they think that's all from, Druid culture.
Did you hear what she just said to her? If I turn you out. That's a dude. Nowadays, that's a different kind of meaning.
Yeah.
But that's brutal.
I'm gonna turn you out.
I'm gonna turn you out.
That's why Snoop Dogg was there. He was like,
damn.
He's gonna turn that bitch out.
See, even when she smiles, she's very sinister. I love it. I love it.
Good acting.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. Damn it. I wish I was
1960.
I wish I was a loofah.
This part is for sure cut out of the Horror Hotel, the U.S. version.
Yeah. No rules in England.
Yeah.
Although England had the video nasties. Couldn't buy those films or view those films in the 80s.
Black market.
Mm-hmm.
There was a guy looking like Sal with a trench coat on, offering him the.
What do you need? You want to? What was that one where Andrew Anthropophagus? You want Anthropophagus?
Yeah.
You want to see a cannibal eat a baby?
I knew it. Nobody's gonna be there.
I love that kind of shit.
Where did everybody go?
Ah, Miss Barlow. I'm afraid Lottie is nowhere to be found, but I will inquire about your locket first thing in the morning.
Oh, thank you. Where is everybody?
Oh, Lottie.
Lottie's upstairs farting in the bathtub.
On the 1st of February?
No, that's Valari. Valari. Candlemass, dude. One of the best Swedish doom metal bands of all time.
Yeah.
I think they started the genre. Pioneered.
Quite. Thank you. Good night.
Good night, Miss Barlow.
Yeah, she's so evil looking. Awesome.
There's an S missing. It's a raven.
Actually, it's a, I wrote it down here. It's a common starling. Starlings are known for their mimicry and tendency to travel in large, noisy flocks, but not perceived as evil.
You know what, Sammy? The only thing I can't figure out near the fireplace, is that corn hanging from inside the fireplace or somebody's shoes? What the fuck is that?
Oh.
Watch, see?
Maybe it's garlic.
Oh, it's woodbine. Kind of, it was something to, it wards off witches from the room, or it's something for witches to put there. I forget. I wrote it down somewhere here. I might have already said that.
And they have to put it in the fireplace like that?
Oh, no. So it's woodbine. In folklore, woodbine, also known as honeysuckle, was a plant used by witches celebrating their Sabbats.
Oh.
Yeah, the old name woodbine describes the twisting, binding nature of the honeysuckle through the hedgerows.
Yeah.
It's believed that if honeysuckle grew around the entrance to the home, it prevented a witch from entering. In other places, it's believed that it's grown around the doors will bring good luck.
Because as soon as I noticed that, I knew something was not right with that.
Yeah, you're going to see that again in one of the other characters.
If there's a bustle in your hedgerow, don't be alone, man. It's just the calling of the May Queen.
See, Mikey, there we go, the hooded guys. There's something more disturbing about a hooded person than a man with an iron mask or a hockey mask or a scarecrow thing. There's like in A Devil's Reign, which I think was one of the greatest Satan movies ever. In my opinion, that was the greatest movie ever. They were all in hoods. That's just so disturbing.
Did you catch my Led Zeppelin references?
I caught that. Would you go down there, Mike?
Fuck no, dude. I'd hire somebody to clean it first.
No, I'd go down there, but I'd send Sammy down first.
I don't do spiders, man. I don't do spider webs.
Oh, see, I'm okay with that.
Oh, fuck no, dude.
You ever
walk out of the back of your house and you catch one right in the goddamn face?
That Bell Witch Cave was full of spiders.
No shit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
Sammy,
everywhere.
Sammy, you know who's deathly afraid of spiders? And I hate to rat the kid out. Vincent, your cousin Vince.
Right. You know, I don't think we talked about it. Sam went to the Bell Witch Cave in Tennessee.
Yeah.
We got to do an episode on that.
My youngest son, he's so afraid of spiders.
I don't like him.
He's deathly afraid. See, spiders, they don't bother me. How cool is that?
Yeah, it's Candlemas Eve. You're about to be sacrificed to the devil.
The devil.
That's awesome. They got a lair with a secret door.
I hope they bind her. With chains.
No!
You're all doomed.
You hear the bells in the background?
Yes.
We're going to do 13.
Yes.
That's because on Candlemas Eve, the clock strikes 13 times. 1 extra hour.
See,
Yum no hole ranky, yo, yum no hole.
They're going to get her naked.
I am Elizabeth Selwyn.
She's a virgin.
So that's why this movie is kind of compared to being like Psycho, is that you follow this woman for half the movie and then she is killed halfway through. You think she's going to be the main character, but
Jesus Christ, that's a
cake
slice.
in itself. That slice.
Learn how to serve, lady.
Hell yeah, big dick don't like no little cake.
Who needs a fork, right?
You noticed that, Mike? I noticed it right away. That'd be me.
Yeah, fucking slob.
Why give him a plate? Just throw it at him.
Yeah, right.
Bring him along to the party. Only
That's not good.
It's not like Nan to be late for anything. Aren't you a bit worried about her?
she'll be here. I'm sure she'll make it. She's probably here now.
You answer the door, and I'm going to put a record on for some
Put
Nan.
that shit down. Stop feeding your face.
That was the biggest cut of fake I've ever seen.
Hi, Dick. Phil.
What up, Big Dick?
I don't know if I mentioned this, but this is also the beginning of this movie is also the exact same as Black Sunday. It's like a witch that was, cursed as being a witch, killed, and then reincarnated as someone else.
Beautiful Barbara Steele.
Yeah.
Oh,
Had the pleasure of meeting her once at
Barbara Steele in her day.
Horror Hound.
That has a lot of, I think Merciful Fate has, I might have that album where that's like the big, there's a front cover to that, right?
Bell Witch?
It might be.
So they have a single Bell Witch, but the song,
I'll pull it out in a minute.
the song appeared on
Sammy's got the album.
not Into the Unknown, In the Shadows. In the Shadows.
Serious?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
But yeah, on that album is the song The Bell Witch. 1993.
There it
Yeah. No, that's Nuns Have No Fun. That's Nuns Have No Fun.
Nuns Have No Fun.
Yep.
Awesome cover, Sammy. Awesome.
I'd like to speak with Miss Nan Barlow at the Ravens Inn, Whitewood. No, I don't know the phone number.
What? Didn't she give you the phone number?
Oh, I know, but
What the fuck, man?
they say there's no such place as the Ravens Inn.
What?
That's crazy. She's staying there.
Stupid some bitch.
Give me the police.
She left in such a hurry, she must have forgotten to return it to you, Miss Russell.
She seems such a nice girl, too. Wouldn't have thought she was the sort who'd forget to return a book.
We cannot always judge by our first impressions, can we?
I'm not usually wrong about the people I lend my books to.
Well, perhaps you'll be more careful in future.
Bitch.
Thank you for letting me have it.
Remember me to your grandfather. Lottie, get out of the way, you clumsy creature.
Jesus Christ. Now that's an insult. Clumsy creature. Oh, you know what? I'm going to use that. I'm going to use that on you, Sam.
I told you, Sammy.
You clumsy creature. Next time somebody fucks up at work, you clumsy
You're right.
creature.
Like, why are familiars always like,
Yeah, right.
I tell you, I told you, dudes.
Yes,
Mike, you're gonna call me a clumsy.
I am not going to use it.
there was one I was thinking about doing on like maybe an upcoming like maybe plant horror episode where there is one of those guys like that too. He's like got a hunchback. He's all dirty. I know you're gonna.
He's all dirty.
Poor, unfortunate people.
Mike,
you know?
he's all dirty.
It's like an Ed Wood film, basically.
Oh, Mike, you clumsy creature.
I'm going to use that one. I may even call my family that. They'll look at me like, what? They said it in 1960.
I just watched a good movie with she was in it too. It's from I think '58. It's called The Snorkel. It's a Hammer film. It's about a guy
Snorkel?
who he kills his wife by like he seals her in this room and he gets under the floorboards. He puts like a snorkel on to protect himself while he puts like poisonous gas in the room, and it looks like his wife killed himself, or killed herself. Well, he hides under the floorboards while the police come and take her body away. They think it's a suicide, but really he's like murdering people like that.
Oh my God,
dude!
It's a good movie. Check that one out.
What's that one called?
The Snorkel.
Snorkel.
Yeah.
Hello?
But yeah, Beta St. John is in it.
Yeah. It's police. Yeah? Okay, thanks. Thank you. Well,
He's dead.
police sent a car out to the Ravens Inn. Man checked out 2 weeks ago.
I don't get it.
Well, neither do I.
Look, these are Nan's books and papers. Go through them. See if you can find anything which might give us a lead. I'm going to pay a visit to a colleague of mine.
That piece of shit, Alan Driscoll.
That clumsy creature
who's about to sacrifice a white dove.
You got a bite off the head?
Yeah,
Mike's
although
gonna call us a clumsy creature.
Although the sacrifice of a bird might seem unusual here, it's mentioned as far back as biblical times when Mary and Joseph procure 2 turtle doves to be offered on the occasion of their son's I'm sorry, what's that called? A brisk. Brisk, yeah. A Jewish ceremony that infers a circumcision.
Yep. And a partridge in a pear tree.
Yeah.
2 turtle doves. You gotta say it like Christopher Lee. 2 turtle doves.
See how they showed him washing his hands and you still didn't see the blood? A lot of Hammer films are like that. They didn't like showing too much blood.
I am Saruman the wizard.
That's great that he's got an awesome sacrificial cape.
Yeah. Like The Evil of Frankenstein was the only Hammer film I really seen more blood than most.
Okay.
When she was the mute girl was trying to wash his hands off.
Clumsy creature.
That's funny.
They really had a lot of handicapped people in a lot of these films.
Dude.
Remember the one where Donald Sutherland, I think that's the psychopath, or maybe... No, that's Fanatic, I think, where he plays like... Remember he plays like the pale albino guy who's like... No, you come now! I'm like, ooh, dude, you went full-blown...
He never go full...
He went full retard in that movie, okay?
Never go full.
Mike, you clumsy creature.
Derp, derp, derp.
What are they doing about it?
Terrible.
Carrying out a routine.
Terrible.
I don't suppose they can do much more until they've
For
got something
shame.
definite to go on.
Shame on us.
There's a very great deal more they could do. What? As far as they're concerned, she disappeared 2 weeks ago, and no one in the village seems to know anything about it. What did you come see me for? I thought you might have some ideas. Why did you send her to Whitewood? Because it was the best place for her research. And you suggested she stay at the Raven's Inn. Sure, it's the only inn there is. But an unlisted phone number? The inn has its own clientele, Barlow. It doesn't need to advertise. How do you know it so well? Because I was born in Whitewood.
Say what?
Did you see he said clientele? Clientele, Mike, instead of clientele?
Clientele. Well, he's proper British. I will defeat you, young Jedi, for I am Count Dooku.
Why hasn't she come back or let us know? Barlow, I can understand your anxiety, but I'm quite sure there's nothing...
It is weird that this is basically a British production that's taking place in America where British people are trying to speak American.
Yeah,
but
I noticed that.
None of them are American except for maybe Beta St. John and Venetia Stevenson, but a lot of them have like that weird, like in-between accent, you know?
You could hear it for sure. People forget Christopher Lee was in Gremlins too.
That's crazy, right? You think they stabbed her in the face?
They stabbed her in the head, yeah, in the face.
Your sister and somebody else went along to try and find out about it. Same thing might happen to them? Possible. You seem to think something happened to my sister then. No, I just think you're jumping to conclusions, Barlow. Maybe, but I shall find her.
Professor Driscoll?
Yes.
I don't like to disturb
Christopher Lee was great at just like looking suspicious.
Yes.
Thanks.
Looks like a villain.
I'm sorry, but did you say he was going to Whitewood?
Yes, he is.
It's silly to be surprised, but I've just come from Whitewood.
Really? It's quite a coincidence. My own family happens to come from Whitewood. As a matter of fact, I was born there.
Yes, I know.
Please sit down.
Thank you.
Care for a drink?
So many cool props up on his wall too. The masks and
I think you know my
the little dudes.
There's the shield.
Mm-hmm.
Russell? Oh, yes, of course I do.
Did you see like the I don't know if it was a leopard or whatever, the head right by the front door?
Oh yeah,
leopard.
I'll help you.
I've come about a pupil of yours, Barlow, Nan Barlow.
Yes.
She came to Whitewood 2 weeks ago. I met her and liked her, and she told me that she was a student in one of your classes, that you recommended that she stay at the Raven's Inn.
That's quite right, I did.
Well, that's what I've come to see you about. On the day after she arrived, she disappeared.
Oh?
Later, the police came asking questions. Her family were worried. I thought you might have their address.
And why do you want that family's address?
Because I have something of hers I want to return.
Well, you just leave it with me, and I'll make sure they get it safely.
Well, I don't want to trouble you. If you just give me their address.
As you wish.
He couldn't act more suspicious.
Yeah, right?
Mm-hmm. Street 225. She lives with her brother. As a matter of fact, he's a colleague of mine. You just met him. He's leaving when you arrived.
His name is Big Dick Barlow.
Yeah, right.
He's a player.
Follow the Big Dick.
He's a player and a player hater simultaneously.
Follow the Big Dick.
Goodbye.
Bye, Miss Russell.
Like, follow the trail that his Big Dick left behind.
He's such a disturbing looking dude.
This man's lugged, all right.
As far as I know, it's unique. I gave it to her. Where did you get it?
The servant at the inn gave it to me. It was strange. I don't think she wanted Mrs. Newless to know I had it.
Mrs. Newless?
Oh, she runs the inn.
Well, why did you come here, Miss Russell?
I found this.
It's Professor Driscoll's notepaper.
I found it in the pages of a book I lent your sister on her first evening in Whitewood. When she didn't return it, I went to the hotel.
What was the book?
An old book. Book about witchcraft.
Do you believe in it, Miss Russell?
I don't know. Sometimes I almost think I live with it.
Live with it?
It's an obsession of my grandfather's. Up till now, I didn't take him very seriously. He's an old man. But now I'm beginning to wonder if what he says isn't true.
What does he say?
That old man is also like the perfect casting for the role of the pastor.
Yeah.
Like the perfect look.
Residents leave the streets, close their doors, and stay behind them. But on these nights, the dead come to life.
That's like Candlemas Eve?
Candlemas.
What do you know about Candlemas Eve?
It's in one of Nan's books.
If you're a fan of Black Sabbath, then you'll love Candlemas.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe it. Things like this don't happen today.
In Whitewood, I wonder.
I'm going to Whitewood tomorrow after classes. I can give you a lift.
Thank you, but I must get back. I can't.
Yeah, so although Candlemas or Embolic is mentioned in this film, it is not generally one of the Sabbaths when with scores of malicious spirits roam the earth. Those are Walpurgisnacht, the night before Beltane Sabbath or May Day, and Halloween and Samhain, All Hallows Eve. Candlemas is the Sabbath associated with the first stirrings of spring, dairy products, and the lengthening of days as summer approaches. So it's like a spring ceremony.
Samhain, also known as Samhain.
Samhain.
That's celebrated around Halloween.
Yeah.
Look, he's in the same spot.
Yep.
Would you be going to Whitewood?
Yes.
Would you take me along with you? It's a dark night for walking.
Hell no.
Wouldn't that be great
See?
if she did the fake thing where she's like, sure happened. Every time he reaches for the handle.
Oh, there's something wrong with the brakes.
Okay, I'm gonna let even a big guy my size is not gonna let this creepy motherfucker in my
How
ride.
did you know?
I know a great deal about Whitewood.
Have you ever been there?
Now and then.
That guy's got a big schnoz.
Yeah, but he looks so fake. Look, he looks like he's made out of clay.
For a chosen few.
Look at his lips. Oh, that bothers me, Mike.
We'll soon be at Whitewood.
His lips.
Oh.
I hate your lips. Oh! Bernie Mac.
What does he say?
Back
The
of
back
Forrest
of your
Whitaker's
neck?
back.
Look, and he disappears again.
I hate my
Nobody
gums.
finds this creepy. Nobody finds this creepy. Man, I'd be screaming like a bitch.
Yes, she is. Very pretty.
A living descendant of those who were cursed. It somehow seems to make it better.
That's a cool shot, too, with the fire in front of it.
Yeah.
You think she'd want to stay away from fire.
Another day,
The fire purified her flesh.
witch's Sabbath.
Come, come to the Sabbath.
See, look at him, Mike. Creepy motherfucker.
Why do you think he had a career for so long?
I like how in this, too, they also do the 60s thing with the fucking jazz score.
I want like a martini in a hand and a cigarette in the other. You know? Hey, cool cat.
Which way to Wemport Road?
Straight ahead, walking the road, you see a sign, turn left. You heading for Whitewood?
I am. Many people head this way?
Not many.
Is this the only way in and out of the town?
In this direction, yep.
You wouldn't remember by any chance a pretty girl in a convertible about a month ago?
Barlow girl. Read about her in the papers. Never seen her again. Told the police.
It's like, you kidding me? Been wanking it to her every night since. Got her picture down the spank bang.
Oh my
Click.
God. Where's Jethro?
Oh, he's not there yet. Look right here. He's missing the front windshield, too, on his car.
Yeah.
If you can tell.
Tell me the way to Whitewood, please.
Another one. Straight ahead.
Probably just a technical thing because it would have reflected the camera into the window, but it's still funny, I thought.
Take it out.
Little goof.
Well, you know, in a lot of films, you see the camera or the mic.
The boom mic?
Yeah, because I noticed it right away in The Wanderers. They had the boom mic in the window, and also in Phantasm. If you look when the tall man was walking, you know, and near Reggie's ice cream truck, you could see a shadow of the mic.
That's kind of a little reminiscent of fucking what was the one we just watched with Herc Henry? God damn it! How could I forget the name? The last commentator we just did.
Souls. Carnival of Souls.
Carnival of Souls.
Yeah, Carnival of Souls.
With Herc Henry and the Ghoulish Man, how he shows up and.
Now, they explained why a lot of our movies, when they crashed in their cars, they survived. Because back then, those cars were a lot heavier metal. And they were more durable than what we have.
Yeah.
Like this thing here.
Because they're American made, baby.
This thing here, Mikey, if a truck hit it, you'd probably still be alive. Because these cars, man, back then, all made out of iron or steel.
Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there were
There's the Raven.
No one died in car accidents back then.
It was rare.
And
Did you see the Raven, Sammy?
Yeah. The Raven's in.
Good evening.
What is the girl, Mikey?
Like your room.
Derp, derp. You clumsy creature.
Mike, what's it called? It's a clumsy creature. That's almost as bad as being called a sissy.
Pansy or pantywaist.
No. Sammy says he likes the word goon. He goes, we need more goons in movies.
Yeah, we do.
Goons and sissies.
Goon number one, played by who knows?
Goons and sissies.
Jethro in this movie is kind of a goon.
Yeah, he's a goon.
He's a form of a goon.
But off camera, he could be a sissy. You never know. But there's the clumsy creature.
He might be. I don't think they ever touch in this film if like him and Elizabeth Selwyn are like together or if they're. I don't know.
Well, if you remember the mute girl in the Evil of Frankenstein, the hypnotist guy tried to rape her.
Ooh.
You know, he figures, you know, she can't scream, she can't yell, so I could, you know.
She was investigating witchcraft, having antagonized anyone in the village.
Hardly. There have been other students here, you know. Besides, your sister was a very agreeable and likable young woman.
Well, have you any idea where she might have gone?
None.
Thank you. Now, may I see the room?
As you wish. It is this way.
Yeah, she would have made like a great vampire, that actress.
Yeah. Did you see the look she gave him, Mike?
If you should need anything and I am not at the desk, you have only to ring the bell.
Thank you.
Ring the bell for the clumsy creature.
I was about to say, a deaf mute girl will come down and do whatever you want. He's like, whatever? You say whatever?
Edit! See the same two people stop and they watch. Nobody finds this creepy.
The town is almost like a Truman Show. They're just like walking. Everyone has their own routines.
I think that's why they got cursed, because they can only do the same thing. That's why they live forever just doing the same thing. Kind of like in Krampus.
Krampus.
The same day.
Krampusnacht.
Oh, here comes the blind dude. Huh?
What'd you say?
That was how What We Do in the Shadows ends with the vampires. Like, they did 6 seasons and they ended it for sure. And they're like, there was no like really big finale type thing. They were just kind of like, yeah, we've been doing this for hundreds of years. Like they found a previous documentary from like 100 years ago where they did all the exact same shit. And they're like, I don't know. I guess we'll just continue doing this type of shit over and over for the rest of eternity.
Sammy, look at these 2 creepy motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Outsider. Damn you, outsider.
Hello.
I'm so glad you've come. I saw your car outside the Ravens Inn earlier. I wondered what had happened to you.
I've been talking with Mrs. Newlis, and then I took a walk around the village.
Find out anything?
Everyone here seems to be afraid of something.
Bunch of creepy motherfuckers
I
out
think
there.
it's just my imagination.
I don't know. Who's to say where imagination ends and truth begins? It's nothing tangible.
There's a bunch of clumsy creatures working around here. Clumsy creature.
It reminds me of that one Simpsons episode where Homer gets the job at the casino and he turns into a dealer, and Marge gets a gambling problem. She's a gambling addict. And he runs up to her. He goes, "He must have a what?" And she's like, "Homer, slow down and say it again." He goes, "He must have a Sawara."
Is it me or does this look like the deaf and dumb chick from Quiet Place, the daughter? She looks just like her.
She's not dumb. Hearing impaired.
Well, that's what they called them back then. Deaf and dumb. That's what they used to call them back
Clumsy creatures.
then.
Who was her? Oh, the comedian Lisa Lampanelli. She had a joke about that. She used to be like,
God.
I know the secret about mute people is that they're not mute, they're retarded.
Oh, no.
They caught her trying to snitch.
Oh, Lottie.
Oh, boy. Damn.
Oh, Lottie.
So a mute person can't scream? They can only go...
I don't think they're... Yeah, they have their vocal cords are...
I feel you.
damaged.
Yeah, okay.
He looks like he was just smoking a fatty out there, and he's looking at all the smoke rolling in.
Fatty.
With Snoop.
Yeah.
Grandfather, this is Mr. Barlow.
How do you do, sir?
Well, that sour OG Kush got me fucked, but...
Got me fucked.
Here's your chair, Grandfather.
He's like, I'm seeing witches everywhere.
Yeah, right.
Here's your chair, grandfather. And he's blind. Like, he's going to know that.
Won't you sit down? I'll make some coffee.
Fight against what, Mr. Russell?
Against the evil that besets this village. The people are creatures of the devil. They know no other god.
You mean they worship Satan here? Today?
Satanism was never stronger than at the present time. For 200 years, the people of Whitewood have carried out rituals that mock the church's teaching.
I find it very hard to believe, sir.
Do not doubt, my son. It is real enough. For years I struggled against the witches. Their master took away my sight.
Seems incredible.
I've tried to convince others. They too found it unbelievable. But I know these people have a pact with the
So I think
to worship
I'm going to have to give you a file, Sam, of a song that me and some friends created a couple years ago. The lyrics match this.
Nice.
Song is called Unholy Terror. We're going to play it for you folks at the end of the episode. We'll play the whole song. I do the vocals. I wrote the lyrics. I got a friend Gary on guitar, another friend Joe on bass. It was a recording project called Object Deleted,
Now you know why I came.
but the song is Unholy Terror. And,
Yeah, I can't wait.
I'm going to send it to you, and we'll put it in at the end of the episode.
Yeah. Post-credit scene.
Yes.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Of course.
Good night, sir.
Good night.
I'll see you to the door.
I hope it's Mike singing like King Diamond.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. There's a falsetto in there,
Well, Miss Russell,
I think.
do you think that Nan's disappearance is connected in some way with these,
There
witches'
is.
ceremonies?
At the end of the song, yeah.
Yes,
Well, I'd like to come back later if I may.
please do. And my name is Pat.
Well, mine's Richard.
I think I feel
It's
better now.
Dick.
Big Dick.
Oh, yeah.
Until I find out what's happened to Nan.
He's going to get some of that.
Take care.
What are you looking at with your blind ass?
Sammy, you blind ass.
Was he disapproving because she's trying to get a booty call? She's like, come back later, big dick.
The devil comes in many disguises.
I'll get you a spoon.
He wants a spooner?
Father, there's a bird in the
He's
bowl.
talking about sex, baby.
Look at that bird!
What? Oh, yeah, another dead bird, just like what turned up in the...
Sammy, did you see the little bird?
So a spring of woodbine. Yeah, she's being targeted as the next sacrifice.
Yeah. Was that Wolf's Bane?
Yeah. Woodsbine.
Is it Woodsbane?
No, Woodsbine.
Woodsbine.
Honeysuckle.
Woodbine.
We must leave here. Leave here immediately.
The dead little bird was funny. It was all stiff. Come on, you blind motherfucker. Look at Sammy. She just goes and leaves him.
She's trying to make sure that the car starts.
That's some shit I would do.
Something's wrong. He wrecked the car.
Barlow! Phone Barlow!
Get Big Dick on the phone.
Hello? Hello? Hello, I want the Ravens Inn.
Sheriff's office.
Yes, Mrs. Eunice. Mr. Barlow.
That for me?
Yes.
Hello?
Dick? Dick, I'm in terrible danger. We've got to leave Whitewood at once.
Danger? But from what?
We've got to leave...
Pat!
Help me!
Patricia! Pat!
Just as I was gonna tap that ass.
He said, I thought this was the bathroom. He was in the closet.
Destroy them.
Mr. Russell.
A priest coming out of the closet.
The shadow of the cross.
Get it, Mikey? The priest comes out of a closet.
Oh.
I got it.
Creatures. They love this word, creatures.
Creatures, yeah.
What is he, Mike?
Clumsy creature.
So he tells them that the key to destroying the witches is the shadow of the cross.
Maitland! Maitland, what's happened?
They whipped my ass.
I love how the camera is slightly jilted like that.
Yeah. Like Batman.
Just when they do stuff like that with the camera, it makes you feel weird, you know?
Yeah. Okay, is that not the smallest little gun you ever seen?
I used to use this gun when I was a prostitute.
You're going after
your stocking.
You're going after demon dudes with a pistol smaller than your fucking nutsack.
So look, here's where we discover, I think it's right around here. Yeah, so Big Dick discovers that Alan Driscoll, Christopher Lee, was also buried in the unconsecrated ground. He's part of the coven. That's the twist in this movie.
But he's going to try to kill the dead with a little pistol.
Hello.
Sheriff's office.
Operator?
Is he? Does he have to shoot the gun with his pinky out? Because
It's a pea shooter.
You clumsy creature! Sammy called her a clumsy creature.
So also, there's a goof in here. Look at his flashlight has a cord on it. You see in the background behind him?
Oh, man.
He found that trap door pretty quick.
Yeah, he did.
This place is like a cellar where everyone's coming in and out, but it's filled with cobwebs everywhere. Like no one's been in there for 10 years. It's also not a good sign when your trap door for your hidden cellar just opens by itself.
Right.
Anybody who comes in there.
It's a motion detector. That is a small gun, dude.
I know, but look at the light. There's always a guy with a brighter light because it's never coming from the flashlight in these old movies because they weren't strong enough. And they were so off with their lights.
So that's Nan's necklace, his sister's necklace.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Dumb spiders.
What happened to his flashlight?
He dropped it.
Oh. Way to go, you clumsy creature.
There's a funny part too here where you can watch. You see her eyes blink as she was.
Look at her mouth.
Bad dead acting right there.
So that's how I introduced you.
Did
now.
you see the light? Did you see the light was even when he put his lighter in his pocket still on?
Dick, these are the dead who killed Nan.
Marlo.
They're dead, you idiot.
Pistol whip him. There you go. Judo chop.
That was kind of like Austin Powers at the end when he...
Head. She should say, "Get your hands off my dick."
Hello.
What's this guy gonna do? My ribs are broken.
He's about to make a cross into a fucking fireball shooter. Hell yeah.
A fireball shooter.
Hell yeah, watch what happens. So they're basically waiting for the clock to strike 13 here. But if you pay attention, if you really listen to how many times the clock strikes, it's 14 times.
Really?
It was a goof. He looked like a zombie.
Oh!
And then he falls in the worst way where the knife would just go right through his belly. Like
That's
fall on your
one.
stomach, bro.
Ah. 2.
Dick, he's moving.
His dick is moving?
His dick is moving!
Like so many parts of this movie just look like are like awesome horror stills like, right there.
Yes. Well, you gotta get the knife anyway. He's got a little knife with that. What the fuck? That's a whittling knife, you know?
He's gonna pimp slap him with a cross.
Yeah.
I'm Jersey by the living God.
See, he turns it into a flamethrower, basically.
Excellent stuff.
Come nearer, Bill. Get the shadow of him. It comes nearer.
Not fail. We must finish the sacrifice.
He's dead.
Wait. Wait for the hour of 13.
That's so gnarly. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Boy, she got him good with that knife.
Okay.
Mrs. Lewis.
A blade like that would probably sever his spinal cord. There's no way he's walking.
So this is another thing that I thought was like kind of like Psycho when at the end of the movie when they go and they discover Norma Bates's corpse.
Ah. Oh yeah.
Why is she cross-eyed?
She's all burnt up.
She's a clumsy creature.
Oh my man. Clumsy creature.
Oh boy. Okay. So good one.
That's the end of that one. What did you
Pretty
guys
good.
think?
I liked it. It was cool.
I liked it, man.
That was your first time seeing that. What did
It
you
was
guys
the
think?
first time, yeah.
So folks, stick around for the end of this episode. At the end credits, we're either going to play the song or we're going to play the video that I created years ago for a song called Unholy Terror, created by a band called Object Deleted. It was a recording project that myself, my two friends Gary and Joe did. Enjoy the song.
And Beach.
And Beach was Lottie.
You could bang your head because it's metal.
Lottie was the clumsy creature.
Another thing, I know the character played by Tom Naylor is called Bill Maitland in the dialogue, but it's shown as Tom Maitland in the credits here.
Yeah.
It's another goof. Credit.
Yeah.
They fucked up the credits a lot on this movie.
Oops.
The editor did a bad job.
But they are still sick, yeah.
There's our sign.
Last Rows of Horror. Thank you for watching, and joining us. It was a fun one.
Yeah,
I like that one. Yeah.
I liked
commentary.
it. I liked it a lot, man.
Yeah.
Very good commentary. So yeah, stick around, folks. We got some cool ideas this year. So yeah, thanks again for listening, streaming, downloading, liking, and subscribing to us on YouTube, Facebook, iTunes, Spotify, Instagram. We got the email. We want to hear from you. Sam, what's the email?
LastRowsOfHorror@gmail.com.
Stick around after the credits for Unholy Terror. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Later.
Bye.
Okay, my bad, folks. We're redoing this. Not only are you going to hear or see the video for Unholy Terror that I was talking about, but you're also going to see a video or hear a song called Church. This was also created by Object Deleted, and that features myself on vocals, Gary guitar, Joe on bass, and the lyrics go with this film. I mean, when I recorded this many years ago, I had no idea about City of the Dead. But as I'm watching this film, it reminded me of the lyrics. So check this one out. This is Church, but also watch the video for Unholy Terror. So Church, Unholy Terror, Object Deleted. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Come, Mephistopheles, and rise up to cleanse my soul and purify my flesh with fire. I pray to thee, fallen angel, master of the light. I am your unholy servant. Send your power unto me, so that I may go and destroy all that is holy, and all that God's followers have built. O black-winged serpent, O two-horned king, in your name, O Lord, I will go out and punish evil with evil. I will plague their houses of worship with demons and phantoms of the night. In time you will sit upon the regal throne of God, and together we will mock the world as they fall into their knees and bow to you.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, here comes the truth.